Oh my gosh, I'm so not used to wearing these glasses. All right, let's do this. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lori's Boston Found, where thrifted is the new black. My name is Lori. I am a full-time reseller on the Poshmark app. I also sell on eBay and I do a few direct sales as well. I have my own website if you want to check it out. It is lorisbostonfound.com. Hello, if you are new here, I am so happy that you found me. This channel is all about reseller content. I do a lot of hauls. I share with you tips and tricks on my own best practices for selling on Poshmark and eBay. I'm more of, I would say, a connoisseur of Poshmark selling than I am of eBay. I have a lot to learn on eBay, but I am slowly moving some inventory over there. You clicked on this today because this is a what sold video for the first 2 weeks of August. So if you have been following me for a while, you will notice that I did not do a what sold video for July, and I feel terrible about that. You'll also notice that I'm wearing glasses, so I apologize if you see the ring light in my eyes. Typically, when I do my what sold videos, I go 1 month at a time, and I've talked before about feeling pretty overwhelmed about reviewing the entire month, and this month was no exception. So I'm deciding today, I actually decided a few days ago that I'm going to start going every other week. And I know I've said this before, but this time I'm really doing it. I think when I do things more in real time, they just feel more relevant to me. July feels like so long ago. I'm filming this on August 14th. So this is kind of perfect timing to reflect on the first 2 weeks of August, and then I will do the last 2 weeks of August. I think I have my next What Sold video scheduled for a Sunday. So I have been working on a content calendar, and I am so excited to share with you in an upcoming video some planning strategies that I use to plan my content and to work my reselling business. So stay tuned for that. Well, one of the reasons I'm so excited about doing today's video on today in particular is because I hit a really big milestone for myself on the Poshmark app. And that is that as of this morning, I hit 2,000 sales on Poshmark. And I've been looking at the number and I keep wondering, oh, when am I going to hit that? When am I going to cross over to the 2,000 number? And it happened today. I'll be celebrating 2 years on Poshmark on August 20th. So my 2000th sale came very close to my 2-year anniversary on the app. In my first year as a reseller, I was part-time. And then in September of 2019, I decided to go full-time. I thought it was really great that I was able to do a what sold video on the day that I hit 2,000 sales in my business. So onward and upward, here's to another 1,000 sales on the app. We just keep plugging away. In addition to my Poshmark sales, I had $120 in direct sales, and that's after shipping. And I did $93.50 in sales on eBay in the first 2 weeks of August. So in total, I am at $2,011.50. 3 out of the 4 sales that I made directly were from my estate sale. And I just wanted to mention that because I was really surprised that there was such an interest in the vintage items that I shared. I don't typically sell vintage items. Vintage items are not my main source of income. It's probably about 5% of what I sell. That estate sale was 100% vintage. And I was really excited by the response I got to that video. So many people reached out, inquired about things. I have a few things in the works right now. The nature book that I shared sold, plus I had another person who inquired about it days after it sold. The maxi dress, the vintage maxi dress with the Hawaiian print, as well as a vintage Hawaiian t-shirt sold. And I sold the vintage fabric that I just picked up because it was pretty and someone messaged me about it right away. So I was really encouraged by those vintage sales, and it made me want to pick up more vintage. I think for the first time, I am going to try to just go through each individual sale and let you know how I did. In my previous what sold videos, I have categories, what sold quick, things that have been around forever. I have to hold on to Buy Felicia. I'll let you know which one of these items is a Buy Felicia, which is my code for it's been around way too long. But I'm going to try this more traditional route, and please let me know in the comments if you prefer this way or if you prefer my old way of doing my what sold videos, which The first 2 weeks of August, so from August 1st to it is about 2 o'clock on August 14th today. I would love to sell a few more things today, but as of right now, I have sold 50 items. So that averages 25 items per week. That would average about 3.57 items per day. That's a little on the lower side for me as far as number of items, but what I'm seeing is that my average selling price is a little bit higher. So I have been at $29, $30 for a very, very long time. And although I didn't do my average selling price for the month of July, I haven't reported that, it was $34 and change. And this month, my average selling price is $35.96 per item. I do just want to mention that I have been doing more retail arbitrage, which tends to bring the average selling price up a little bit. If you're unfamiliar with the term retail arbitrage, it's when you buy new items from a retail location and then sell that online for a profit. So I'm going to places like Nordstrom Rack or TJ Maxx or Marshall's or Macy's or any place like that, buying something at a heavily discounted price, and then I'm flipping it on Poshmark or eBay and making a profit for it. So that I think is driving my average selling price up a bit because I have sold quite a few pieces from my retail arbitrage trips. Okay, the glare is killing me and my reflection, so I just had to take those off. The first thing that sold was this great plus size lace blouse. The brand is Fever. I picked this up based on style, and I thought that it was just a very flattering cut for a plus size top. So I picked this up at the bins. It probably cost about $1.50, and that sold. That was a full price sale for $28, which made me so happy. Next up, I sold this beautiful kaftan. I bought this at the local consignment store that I work with in my hometown. And I have found that most of the items I pick up from this store flip for a pretty decent price. So I do pay up a little bit because it is a consignment store. It's not like your typical thrift store. So I usually pay between $5 and $12, $15 for my items there. And this item, I think I spent $8 on, but this was a beautiful, I'd never heard of this brand. It's Maria Wynn, W-Y-N-N, and it was just this beautiful kaftan. I had this priced at $80, but I did receive a $55 offer on this, which I accepted. I'm a sucker for a beautiful kaftan, and this pattern was just gorgeous. Next up are these Echo, E-C-C-O Mary Jane leather shoes. Echo is just a real solid brand. I don't sell a ton of this brand, but the quality is really always there. This is one of those brands I would encourage you to look up the comps on. I'm sure I picked these up at the bins. These sold for $30, and I was really happy with that. And this is the time of year that I'm hoping to see more leather shoes and boots. And I did sell quite a few pairs of jeans these past 2 weeks, which was interesting because I think I sold as many pairs of jeans as I did bathing suits. August is one of those transition months where people are starting to think of fall, but we are still dealing with like 90-degree days. So we're still seeing a lot of sales in the bathing suit department, which I am happy because I have a ton of summer stuff. Next sale really made me smile, and I shared this with you in one of my hauls, but I bought these pants at a local thrift store, and it was in a bin that was going to be donated. If you've watched my videos, you might remember this story. I didn't find anything in the normal part of their store. They're under new ownership, and I found this box. So of course I went right to the junk box because I love to pick through stuff. And I mentioned to the owner who was walking by, what's going on with these items? And he said, oh, we're going to donate those. Just bring whatever you want up to the register and we'll give you a price. Well, I brought 3 things up to the register. They charged me $5 for the 2 or 3 items that I brought up. I think it was 3. But one of the items that I found were these commission pants by Lululemon. They were men's pants. They just looked like very basic khakis in a nice blue color. But I saw that beautiful symbol that we all love to find when we're out thrifting. And sure enough, the comps were great on it. I think I had them listed for $75 or $80, and they ended up selling for $50, and I was thrilled with that. So a $3 buy-in with a $50 sale is fantastic. So Poshmark took their 20%, which left me with $40. Subtract the $3, that was $37 in profit. That is a nice flip to me. So that made me very happy. Next up is this Levi's denim jacket. And honestly, this is one of those things I have had on hand forever. So I think my average days on hand for this particular haul, for this particular what sold video for 2 weeks was 219 days. There's been a lot of talk. My good friend Sarah Stiles, she tagged me in one of her recent posts on Instagram because I was on her YouTube channel live. If you want to go back and watch that, she's Sarah Stiles on YouTube. She brought up the question about, do I get rid of items after a certain amount of time? And my answer was not really. I tend to just leave things in my closet because I'm a firm believer that eventually everything sells. Now, that being said, if I have a $15 item in my closet that I have been sharing 2 or 3 times a day for the past 2 years, that is probably not an item that's really worth spending my time on. And maybe there's a great argument to say that should be pulled and donated because I'm actually losing money as far as time goes. But a lot of the purchases that people make on some of these older items are decent priced items. Like this denim jacket was $28. I probably picked this up at the bins because even though it's Levi's, there was nothing really special about this denim jacket that would get me to pay up. It wasn't like oversized or distressed or a really great vintage piece or anything like that. So this was probably purchased at the bins or maybe cost $5, but it's sold. So I do think that eventually everything sells. It really just depends on your level of comfort. I do have a fair amount of items in my closet and I'm kind of just in the mentality like move it forward. So I do believe in relisting with that copy relist feature. I've been using that a lot and I have sparked some interest in older items by doing that. And some of the older items have been selling. So I highly recommend to use that feature if you can on Poshmark. Speaking of having forever, these are probably my top by Felicia item of this episode. Although there's one other item, but these men's Rockport little ankle boots. I mean, these are great shoes. They've been around forever. I had them listed on eBay. They have just sat around. I don't know what it was about these shoes that took forever, but I got a $22 offer and I could not accept it fast enough. So bye Felicia to these suede boots. Okay, I really can't see, so we're gonna be back with the glare. Next up, I got a miracle suit. I have talked about miracle suits before, and I think I sold 2 this month. And the 2 miracle suits I bought at my favorite store. My family's home now. Miracle Suits is one of my favorite bathing suit brands to buy for 2 reasons. One, because most Miracle Suits are one piece, and I had a run of time where I was picking up separates for bikinis when kind of mixing and matching bikinis was really a thing a couple of years ago. And I ended up with just all these separates that I feel like at this point I can't really give away. So I've really gotten away from buying non-matching swim pieces unless they're a super high-end brand. So typically I like to buy one-piece bathing suits, and Miracle Suit is just a brand that people trust. It's a brand that flatters the woman's body, and I have had a lot of success with this brand. So whenever I see it inexpensive, I usually pick it up. So I picked up 2, and I believe I paid $3.50, and they both sold this month. So they were only in my inventory for less than a few weeks. This particular miracle suit sold for $28. Next up, the 2 next sales that I'm going to share with you were 2 of my best sales from the month. And one was this J. Crew Dover Houndstooth wool jacket. Absolutely beautiful. This was featured in a haul where I was at Cape Cod. I'm not sure if you watched that video. I can link it up above here for you. But that was a really fun video, and I found this in the Goodwill store there, and there weren't a ton of things in this store, although I did find a few gems. But I found this blazer, and I noticed that it was a recent blazer. So recent to me is 2017 or newer. And I looked at the comps really quickly while I was at the store. And for those of you who might be new, when I refer to looking up the comps, what I do is I search on Poshmark on the app, and I look up a brand and a style of whatever I'm looking at, and then I look at what it's sold for. So sometimes it's interesting to see what people are listing items for, but it's more interesting to see what things are selling for, right? Just like haul videos. Haul videos are really fun to watch, but sometimes for me, watching what sold videos are even more informative because you're seeing what is really selling for people. So I noticed that the sold comps on this particular blazer were really good. So I listed it and that ended up selling for $75. I had it listed for $90, I think, but it ended up selling for on a $75 offer, and I was thrilled with that. And again, I was just in the Cape at the very end of June, so it's been under 2 months that has been in my Poshmark closet. So that was a really great sale. That was a retail arbitrage pair of boots that somebody got a really fantastic deal on. I look at it now and I think, my goodness, I gave a really good deal on that. So I sold a pair of Fry Melissa boots, which are my favorite boots. I own these boots in like a chestnut color, and they are my go-to boots. And I paid way more than $100 for them. I picked these up at TJ Maxx for just $35. I probably should have held out on these boots, but sometimes, I don't know, comment below and let me know. If it's one of those days and you haven't made any sales and you get a halfway decent offer at the end of the day, do you take it sometimes? I know that I do. And recently, I feel like I've been even more so just wanting to move my product. And I just want to make room for some of my fall inventory that I'm excited to go shop for. So this is a fall item. It did sell the first week in August, so I probably should have held out on these. I think I had them listed for $165. So I don't know if this was the best sale for me. So I sold them for $100, which left me $80. You take away the $35, I only made $45 on these boots, but I did double my money, which is what I always want to do when I'm talking retail arbitrage. Like those Lululemon pants that I bought for $3 and sold for $50 and had that huge profit margin on, I don't expect that with retail arbitrage. So if I can double my money with retail arbitrage, I'm happy. Next up is this Free People Karen tank top, which I think is funny. This was also retail arbitrage, and I have had this for probably a year. It ended up selling for $24. So when I picked this up again, I think I paid $7 for this at Nordstrom Rack last year, and I really just stay away from tank tops. When I am shopping, whether it's retail arbitrage or in the thrift store, I am really trying to focus my energy on things that bring me higher dollars. So tank tops is just not one. It could be something where I'm flipping through the tank tops and I come across, you know, an Isabel Marant tank top, and yes, I'll make money on that. But generally, tank tops aren't very high end, so I just don't waste my time there. I would rather spend time looking at denim, looking at shoes and boots and sweaters and outerwear and stuff that's just going to give me a stronger return. Okay, next up is a brand that I really enjoy picking up, and I have recently just picked up a skirt that I want to share with you in an upcoming haul. But the brand is called Peruvian Connection. I took an offer of $38, which is actually lower for this brand, but I've had this for a little bit, probably four or 5 months, so it was time to let it go. And it's lovely to be selling sweaters when it's 90 degrees out, so happy to see that one go. The next thing that I sold was a bundle that I had actually sold once before, and the woman who bought this from me was just lovely, and I had sent her the wrong dress. She bought a vintage blouse that I had bought in Italy and a dress, and it was like a black and white floral print dress. So I had sent her the blouse and I sent her the wrong dress. She notified me right away. I obviously said, please, you know, I canceled the order, refunded the money, and she had to send both items back to me. If you're not familiar with Poshmark's return policy, if you cancel an order, if you get a bundle of 5 items and there's one item in that bundle that has a flaw or you're not satisfied with or was not as described, and you cancel the order, you have to send everything back, which is really a pain. So she sent the order back, and the entire sale gets wiped out. So you really want to make sure when you're sending bundles that you're very careful about what you're including in the package and that everything is as described as best as you can. So she sent me this lovely letter, and she just said, I really want this bundle. I had to send everything back. So can you please relist it and I will buy the bundle again. So she repurchased the bundle. So that was that sale. Next up was a pair of Fabletics pants that I picked up. Fabletics does pretty well for me, not for a lot of money, but if I could get Fabletics for like $2 to $4, leggings in good condition, I will pick them up. And these olive green Fabletic leggings received so many likes, I can't even tell you. And I got, I think, a $10 offer, a $13 offer. I had them listed for $25 and they ended up selling for $18. That might have had discounted shipping as well. Okay, moving on, another miracle suit. And both of the miracle suits that I sold in this particular video were both vintage. So I don't even know if I included that they were vintage in the comments. And I say vintage, I would place these at the early 2000s at best, is my guess. So this was a really pretty one-piece miracle suit, and it had this beautiful white embroidery, almost looked like a spray of feathers or maybe like a fern in embroidery in white, and it was just super pretty. And this one sold for $30. So one sold for $28, one sold for $30. The buy-in cost on both of these was about $3.50. So those were great flips. Next up is a brand called Wooden Ships, and I sold this oversized slouchy sweater. Wooden Ships is sometimes sold at Anthropologie, and this sweater has been around for some time, but I did receive a $30 offer on this sweater, so I was happy to see that go. Really like the style of Wooden Ships sweaters, and ironically, I don't have much Wooden Ship merchandise in my inventory, but on this particular day that this sweater sold, I went to the thrift store and I picked up another Wooden Ships sweater. So it was kind of one in and one out. Sorry about the background noise. I have dogs, kids, husbands, they're all here. So I apologize for the background noise. The next item that I sold was this beautiful vintage calf hair coin purse. I'm sorry I keep looking over here, but I have all my items over here. This was just a really unique coin purse that I must have picked up at a yard sale or somewhere really inexpensive. I'm sure I didn't pay more than $2 or $3 for it, but it was really unique. And I love to photograph calf hair. When you take a photograph of calf hair and you put it in portrait mode, I always take photographs of small items in my Amazon photo box, and I will take it in portrait mode on my iPhone. And even though you need to take your photos in square mode for Poshmark, I'll take it in portrait mode, but I'll just fill the bottom half of the screen. And it really pops all of the detail in your images. So things like calf hair, or tweed sometimes looks beautiful in portrait mode. Anything that shows a lot of detail, I love to take in portrait mode inside my photo box. So this photographed really well, and it just sold for $22. But this sale really made me happy because I just thought it was a really unique piece. And I love picking up small things that don't take up a lot of room in my inventory. So that was a win in my opinion. Next up was this Kate Spade iPhone 8 Plus phone case. I bought this on it had this many stickers on it. It was so thick how many discounted stickers were on the back of this phone case. But I ended up paying $3 for it. I had it listed for $50 and it sold for $30, and that was a $30 offer that was sent to me. So that was a nice flip. I've had this for a little bit of time. I was getting a little sick of sharing this, but I was happy that it finally sold. And I think my frustration with this item was that it received so many likes and I kept sending offers. And I believe my lowest offer was half off, $25 with discounted shipping, and it still didn't sell. And then finally, I got a $30 offer. Sometimes when I have stuff in my closet for a very long time, I get frustrated because it's receiving so much attention and it's still not selling. And sometimes that is a clue to me that maybe it's time to relist the item. And I don't always drop the price when I relist an item. Sometimes I increase the price when I relist an item. But sometimes that's an indicator to me. If I have 15, 20, 30 likes on an item and it hasn't sold, that tells me people are definitely interested in it, but something's a little bit off. It could be a case where you list something out of season, and I totally recommend listing things all throughout the year. But say I listed a sweater, a really nice high value sweater. Actually, I just did this. I listed a Dale of Norway sweater for $200 in the middle of summer. That may get a lot of attention, but it may not sell. Come November, December, if that sweater hasn't sold yet, that's a perfect item to relist in the heart of a season if it's received a lot of attention in your closet but isn't selling. So that to me is an indicator. So I digress. Let's move on. Next up is this Vineyard Vines pullover, like little athletic fabric hoodie. This was given to me. It sold for $30. So you gotta love making profit on items that were given to you. So I paid nothing for this and it sold for $30. Poshmark took 20%, so I made $24 on this item. Next up is this Patagonia trucker hat. I made very little profit on this. I think I recently featured this in my Instagram story. I paid $12.99 for this at TJ Maxx. And sometimes I will buy things just to draw attention to my closet. I've said this before, Patagonia hats do very well in my closet as far as like they get a lot of attention. They don't always sell for a lot of money. And since I did pay $12.99 for this, it sold for $22. So after Poshmark took their fees, I made very little on this sale. Probably not the best buy. I probably wouldn't buy this trucker hat again at that high price. That wasn't the best sale. Next up is these Free People movement leggings. I love Free People. It's one of my best selling brands in my closet, and I sold these leggings for $28. These two received a lot of attention. They were a beautiful teal color in excellent condition. I think I paid $3.49 for these at Savor. The next item that sold made me very happy because I was a little insecure about this purchase. The vests, which are kind of on trend for fall, right now in fall of 2020, but vests at my local Savers are marked pretty inexpensive, but they're kind of a tough sell for me most of the time. But I did find this Pendleton vest, and I think it was marked in the $4 range. It was pretty inexpensive if I remember correctly. And it sat for just a little bit. I've probably had it maybe 3 months, and it ended up selling for $30 on a $30 offer. And I was really happy with that because I was afraid it was gonna sit forever. But it had a lot going for it. It was a newer Pendleton tag. It was black. It was a size large, which is always nice. It was a nice design in a newer style, and somebody liked it. So I was happy that that sold. Next up was a bundle that I sold that had a nice mix of things. It had a Madewell striped top. It had a dress that I bought in Manhattan and paid way too much money for back in October of 2019. A really cute dress that was more of a style pickup. It would have been a great pickup for the bins. And then a vintage crochet skirt. So I had these 3 items. I always offer 30% off bundles of 3 items or more. So this sold for $75 with discounted shipping. Next up was an exciting sale. I found this Burberry Brit just pop over t-shirt, really, really basic and very unassuming at the Goodwill in Worcester, I believe. And I think I paid $5 for it. $5.49, something like that. I listed it at $75 and I received a $50 offer. So with that sale, $50, Poshmark took their 20%, so that brought my profit down to $40. I paid roughly $5, so a little under $35 in profit on this Burberry shirt. I was happy with that. Another bathing suit sold. This is just a black halter. I bought this bathing suit strictly on style. I loved the embroidered detail right under the chest and the halter, that it was black. It was just a flattering bathing suit. I thought it was really cute. And that sold for $25 with discounted shipping. I sent offers out on that. I'm really getting to the point where I'm sending a lot of offers, especially on bathing suits, because A, I have a lot in stock, and B, we're coming to the end of summer. Next up is this Peter Millar sweater. This sold for $30. I do love selling men's clothing. It only makes up about 10% of my inventory, but I consistently sell my men's stuff. So men's items is one category that I'm actually low on. I feel like sweaters are coming out of my eyeballs, and dresses, my bins are so overstuffed, but I really need to pick up more men's clothing because it has been selling pretty successfully in my closet. So I was happy with that sale. Next up is this really pretty Prana sweater in all these different shades of blue and teal and green. And it had like a crossover detail on the back, really pretty sweater. That sold for $30. And I love picking up Prana. I try to stick to the newer tags with Prana, but I would say that Prana is one of those brands that has a very loyal following. It is an athletic wear / outdoor yoga type of style company, and it does very well. So I love picking up Prana. I should look at the sell-through rate for that brand because I would think that it's probably decently high in my closet. Moving on to the next item that sold, I was really excited about these shoes. I bought these gorgeous Vince Camuto suede pointed toe mule heels. And I picked these up at Salvation Army on Dollar Day, and they were marked like $6.99, but they were the $1 color, so I paid 99 cents for these, and they sold relatively quickly. I think I had them listed at 40, and I sent out an offer for $30 with discounted shipping. So I love picking up $1 items that sell for 30. The next item that I sold is kind of a buy, Felicia. I was so excited to find it. Hatch, Hatch, is a really high-end, sought-after maternity brand, and I've only found it once. I found this at a Goodwill in Manhattan. I paid probably $8 for it, and I was so excited to find Hatch, and it was just a very basic sweatshirt dress. I sold it once before, and it got returned because there was a little bit of a little gap in the seam. It wasn't even a hole, but it was like a split in the seam right here on both wrists. Like this had been like pushed out or something. So I noted that in my second listing when I got it returned, and this one ended up selling for $55. So $5 left, but bye, Felicia. I was so happy to sell it. It's tough when you get a return and then you kind of question, like, was this a bad buy? Hatch is rarely going to be a bad buy if it's in decent condition, but I was really happy to move that. And I think this is probably one of the lower end pieces for Hatch. I think their stuff sells even higher, but where this was pretty basic and it did have that little flaw, that's why it sold for that. When I first listed this, I had it around the $80 mark. And then when I relisted it, I was more at like $60 or $65, and it ended up selling for $55. So trying to talk fast here. How am I doing? I sold another bundle for $100. It was 4 items. MSZ Hem, Hemme. That's a brand that I picked up just based on fabric. I had that marked for $35. A Madewell sweater that I got in a recent B&G trading box. A pure Jill marled cardigan sweater in size petite large. I don't pick up J. Jill all the time. I'm sure that was a bins pickup. And then I found this Kate Spade ballet pink, like has like a little bow in the front. I picked that up at Savers recently, maybe between $5 and $7. So I had that marked $40. So there were 4 items. They offered me $100 and I accepted. So that was a pretty good deal. I think this ended up being more like 40% off my list price, but the Madewell piece I didn't pay for. The Pure Jill was from the bins. The Kate Spade I paid $5, $6 tops. And then the hem sweater, the Hemme, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that sweater, minimal cost. I think that was either the bins or really inexpensive at Savers. So I was probably into this bundle for just say $15 at the absolute most. So the $100 offer was still great profit for me. Okay, really quickly, next up is this American Eagle belt. I do love picking up belts when the price is right. I rarely pay over $4 for a leather belt. I always check them out at Goodwill. Goodwill's belts seem to be even less expensive than Savers. Savers sometimes will mark their belts at $4.99. But I usually have a coupon, so I never pay more than like $4 for belts. This sold for $18. And then also this reversible Van Heusen belt. I got 3 of these at the bins and they were new with tag. So this probably cost $1. Somebody bought it outright for $20. So I was happy about that. I still have the other 2 available. This sold in a size 40. So I love picking up belts. Again, something that doesn't take up a lot of room. Next up is one of my highest sales of the month was this Peloton sweatshirt. It was a sweatshirt that I was able to get with my Peloton credit from referral codes that I have given. So that sold for $90 and that was great. That was a full price sale. Thank you, Dee Dee, one of my very best customers. Bought that within 12 hours. This particular sweatshirt, I'd had it for a while and it was Peloton with Spiritual Gangster, like a collab on this sweatshirt. And I had sold one before, and then my second listing, meaning this one, had been taken down by Spiritual Gangster for using a stock photo. So be careful when you do use stock photos. This was taken down, so there's no record of it. If I go into like ended listings or anything like that, it is just gone. You can't retrieve the pictures. You can't retrieve any of the written type that you had done for a draft listing or anything, so I had to start from scratch. So this actually ended up in my death pile because once they took the listing down, I had never gone back into my inventory, pulled the sweatshirt out to take the pictures. So I finally did it, and it sold within 12 hours for full asking price. So that was just a fantastic sale. Oh my gosh, this is getting very long now. So I'm gonna just go over really quickly jeans that I sold, and I'm not gonna show the jeans, but I am just going to share with you the jeans that I did sell, and that will save us a little bit of time. I sold a pair of 7 for All Mankind jeans, and they had like the A on the back for $30. I sold a pair of blank NYC jeans that were cropped with beautiful floral embroidery for $30. I sold a pair of True Religion jeans. They were like a skinny straight leg, pretty basic, not like blinged up True Religion, very nice, dark wash, $30. And lastly, I just picked up a pair of Madewell jeans at the Garment District in Boston last week, and I paid $15 and I had them listed at $50, but somebody sent me a $35 offer and I took it. Mainly because even though my profit wasn't huge on that, like I said, I paid up a little bit, but I was still managed to double my money with my profit. And sometimes when I list something and I get offers on it relatively quickly, it's just very little work. You know, if I'm not sharing an item for 4 months, that makes me happy. So I took that $35 offer and off those jeans went. 4 pairs of jeans, 3 sold for $30, 1 sold for $35. Definitely start listing your jeans. It is back to school time. Even if your kids are sitting in their room in the fall, like mine will be, people are still looking for denim, sweaters, boots. Get them listed. Now's the time. And those were all within the past 5 days, those 4 pairs of jeans. Not even. That was in the past 3 days that I sold 4 pairs of jeans. So who knew? I guess it is officially time. Another men's item that I want to share with you, Helly Hansen, is a brand that does pretty well. Again, it's one of those brands that I would say has a following. It doesn't always sell for a ton, but it consistently sells. I've sold raincoats from Helly Hansen, outdoorsy like nylon pants from them. So I picked up this men's shirt. I got a $20 offer. Believe I got this shirt at the bins, and I was happy with the $20. Another men's item. I picked this next item up at Salvation Army in Worcester. I paid up a little bit for it. I want to say I paid like $10 to $15. I think it was around that $10 or $12 mark. But it was this vintage satin, like 80s looking Bud Light jacket. It was like a bomber jacket. And actually, this has been in my closet for longer than I expected it to be. But I had it listed for $55 and someone sent me a $50 offer. Don't you just love those people who send you like 5 or 10% off what you're asking? And I'm just like, absolutely, you take that $5 off, you beautiful soul. So I sold that for $50. Poshmark took 20%, which brought that down to $40. I paid around 10 or 12, so I probably profited about $28 on that jacket. That was a good sale. Next up is a By Felicia item by default because it has my infamous brick background, which lets you know it's from October of 2018. So we are knocking on 2 years with this item. This Lush, which is a Nordstrom house brand, really pretty top actually. When I packaged it up this morning, I was like, this is actually a nice shirt. Sold for $18, and that was on an offer to Liker, so $18 with discounted shipping. I could not tell you what I paid for this shirt, but honestly, I probably paid more than I should have for this shirt because this was back in the day when I was buying more on style and I wasn't paying attention to brands so much, and I didn't really even know all the brands that did so well. I still have no idea just how many brands do great out there. I still have so much to learn, but at this stage of the game, Lush is typically a brand that at this point I would only pick up at the bins unless it was a really substantial, beautiful, unique, trendy piece. This is not a brand I would pick up now. Right on the heels of that, I'm gonna say this Maeve shirt. I don't do great with button-down shirts. Let me know how you do. First of all, I think they're a tad bit of work. If they're like a really stiff cotton, they take a lot of steaming, which I don't love to do. They are lightweight. They do pack up really nicely. They don't take up a lot of room in inventory, but I don't, for women especially, I don't do great for button downs. I personally don't love wearing button downs. I'm obviously a more casual, like sweatshirty type of person, but it was a nice shirt. It was this beautiful mustard color, which I love. Maeve is a nice brand. It was a newer label. So that sold, wow, I didn't even realize what it sold for. It sold for $29. And I believe Yeah, that was an offer sent to me. There was no discount with this. So $29 is pretty good. I probably paid about $5 for that shirt. So yay, that was a good one. Just a few more. So thank you. If you're still here with me, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're enjoying this, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment. What was your favorite piece? Or tell me what your best sale was in the past 2 weeks. I'm curious to hear what's selling for you. This next item I was really happy to sell. It's a Southwestern beautiful Denim and Supply, which is a Ralph Lauren division sweater. And I love these Southwestern Aztec sweaters. I actually have a beautiful hooded sweater similar to this in my men's department that I'm thinking about relisting or dropping the price on. But I love this pattern. I picked this up and this sold for $45 with discounted shipping. I think I had it listed at $60 or $65, but it's been around a little bit. So I decided to give a nice aggressive offer and somebody accepted. I was happy with that. Next item is this Free People Beach dress. I believe somebody handed this to me at the bins in New Hampshire. It may have been my friend Lauren, I can't remember, but she was like, I don't really sell a lot of dresses. Do you want this? I was like, absolutely, even though I have so many dresses I need to sell. So this was listed for, I think, $40. I sent out a 20% offer with discounted shipping to a bunch of people. So $32 with discounted shipping, and she countered me with a $25 offer. So for those of you who might be new, if you send an offer to people with discounted shipping and they counter you, that discounted shipping goes away. So if I sent an offer out for $32 with discounted shipping, it's essentially a $30 offer. So when she countered at $25, she lost the discounted shipping. So that gets me even closer to what I was asking for. So when people counter, if it's within reason, I will oftentimes take their counter if it's, you know, within the what I'm wanting for that item. So in this particular case, I do want to move my dresses. $25 was great. It was from the bins. That was a no-brainer. Yes, goodbye. Oh, I sold these rainbow sandals, and I just wanted to mention this brand. My son Anthony has a pair of these sandals. I'm sure he spent like $50 on his sandals, but this is just a leather sandal. I received a couple offers on these. I've only had them listed for like a week. They were at a consignment store in Leominster, and when I first saw them, they were $8 or $9. They were kind of beat up, and then when I went back, they had dropped in price to like $5.25, so I picked them up. But then upon further review, when I got home, I noticed that they were pretty well worn. But Rainbow has a huge following, and so many people liked this item. I got a couple lowball offers, like I said, but in the end, somebody did offer me $20 for these, or they took a $20 with discounted shipping. I wanted to move these quickly because they were a little bit flawed, but they retail for over $50. So I sold those yesterday or today for $20 with discounted shipping. Let me see if that was discounted. Hold on one second. Yeah, I gave a shipping discount on this. So $13.88 was what I profited, and then less my $5.25. So I didn't make a ton of money on these, but I moved them very, very quickly. One more item to share with you, and this is something that I sold this morning. I was going to show you a couple things because I haven't mailed this out, but I'll just show you the picture here. You will hear me talk about cottage core. I'm sure if you have been watching any resellers or following any trends for the fall, you've probably already heard of this term, but it is a new trend in fashion, which is just kind of like that cottagey, little house on the prairie, little floral, feminine, flowy dress or top that is very much in style right now. So I have been a little bit looking for them, and I actually feel like there's a lot of cottage core vibe pieces out in the thrift stores right now. Before they get all scooped up, I've been kind of peeking for them. So at my consignment store in Leominster, there was this brand new with tag April Cornell dress, which I know that April Cornell is a brand that does pretty well already. Plus this was new with tag, plus it had that cottage core vibe. So I'm like, I'm definitely gonna pick this up. I paid $13 for this dress, and I listed it last night, and I listed it for $80. The price tag on it was $118. I listed it for $80. This morning I received a $50 offer. I countered with $65, and then I also messaged the woman, and I've shared this in previous videos, but I'll share it again. I messaged the woman and I just said to her, thank you so much for your offer. $50 is a generous offer. And I just said to her, I just listed this last night, so I did send you a counter offer. I'm hoping that works for you. If this is still available this time next week, I would love to sell it to you for $50. Let me know if you have any questions. She actually took the offer for $65 and sent me a note. Thanks so much. She's a happy camper and so am I. So $65 sold in about 14 hours. I think I listed it last night at 8 o'clock and got an offer on it this morning. So that was like a great way to wrap up this what sold video. And I feel like I've been talking so fast. I usually take more time than this. But anyway, let me know what you think of this what sold video. 2 weeks. It's much more manageable for me, but I kind of miss all the little like best-selling brands and all those fun categories that I typically do. This is a much more straightforward what sold video, so let me know your thoughts. I feel, I don't know, I kind of miss my old way, but I feel like this is a more efficient way to do it. Would you like this style every 2 weeks, but then just give you highlighted things? Do you like to know everything? Would you rather a longer video and know everything, all that I sold? Or would you rather me do the highlights like I have in the past and then give you kind of fun different categories? Let me know. I wanted to try this out. This is the third video for this week. I'm gonna have another one out on Sunday. I typically do 2 videos in a week, so I'm like, let me just get this out and see what you guys think. So I really would love your feedback. Let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping in and checking out this video. I will be back on Sunday with something new. Take care, guys. Bye.